Hey there, guys. So today we have another review, and what we have is, just poured this out. It's actually a bit cold, so I decided to warm it up a bit after it's poured out. So this is another one from Maine Beer Company. This is 7% IPA from them. This is brewed with Citra, Cascade, Warrior, and Simcoe. It's actually, 7% IPA. It's actually a really fresh bottle. I do not believe you can read this. Yeah, maybe you can. It says, let's try that. It says 12, 16, 13. So this beer is about, let me think, 8 days fresh, something like that. Yeah, let's go with 8 days fresh. It's Christmas Eve. So yeah, super fresh beer. I just love the fact that Maine Beer Company is an East Coast brewery and they're distributing, obviously. And their beer gets to New York really fast. I mean, I've gotten bottles of lunch maybe like 5 days, 7 days fresh from bottling. So super fresh IPAs. Let's dig in. So the beer comes in a nice kind of golden orange, more towards a kind of golden color. Not completely hazy. I'd say a light kind of haziness, but yeah, you can sort of see a little bit through it. Wonderful golden color, wonderful kind of fluffy head. Let's get the aroma on this. Nice. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm looking for, because it has that Citra note. I just reviewed Susan yesterday, and that's a Citra hopped IPA with other hops, but I guess mainly Citra. And this has that same kind of light peachiness, but a wonderful kind of zestiness. Again, orange, fresh kind of pink grapefruit kind of thing going on. Maybe a hair of a little bit of blood orange, maybe. Yeah, all those citrus, like just all kinds of citrus. Orange, blood orange, grapefruit, tangerine, whatever, throw it all in there. A touch of like kind of a peachy sweetness, a little bit of this kind of mango, passion fruit kind of tropical thing. Yeah. Just awesome stuff. Cheers. Wow. Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderfully clean beer. Up front, I get, again, that citrus note. It's not as juicy as maybe the aroma. A little bit more towards, again, that citrus zest kind of thing I was talking about. Orange, blood orange, grapefruit. I noticed there's a nice kind of like crackery malt or something in the middle that hits. There's a really nice kind of touch of that kind of malt character. Really, really offers another note to the beer other than the hoppiness. Nice transitioning of hops. I'm noticing a little bit of dank quality. Almost like a, what is that? Maybe a slight kind of guava juice kind of thing. Maybe heading towards there, but not as tart and juicy. But a little kind of like turning of a tropical fruit kind of transition. On the back end, it's nice and really clean and dry. Grapefruit peel, grapefruit pith. Maybe a little bit of this kind of light grassiness probably. Yeah, light grassiness kind of grapefruit flavor. I'd say the mouthfeel is slightly light, but it's such a clean beer and a signature kind of quality that I get in Maine beers. Dinner that I just reviewed has that same kind of quality. I imagine maybe it's the same yeast quality or just how they brew their beers. Lots of similar characteristics. Obviously, this beer is just a much more explosive kind of experience. But this, as a beer that you can find on the shelf, I think is actually one of probably the best distributed IPA I can think of off the top of my head. I'm going to do a top 10 beer list, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to also match beers that are alternatives for these, rare, crazy beers that I'm going to put on the list. And for me, there are a lot of beer styles where I can sort of tell someone, hey, you should go to the store and get this beer if that's what you're looking for, because that is a world-class beer, and that compares very well to the, crazy, hard-to-find, rare beers. IPAs for me are much, much harder. Beers like the Alpine beers, Toppling Goliath, Treehouse, Phil Farmstead, Lawson's, Alchemist, there just aren't that many IPAs out there that are just brewed to that kind of style. I don't, and it's my preference, so I don't want to say that the other IPAs out there are garbage. My preference wants to say that, but if you like those IPAs, that's good for you. But they're not even like brewed in the same way. They just don't taste they're not even remotely in the same kind of category in my mind, because they're just so different in the characteristics they have. And this beer is one beer that I think actually stands out as an IPA that is again, distributed and not to everyone, but on the East Coast at least. And it actually does taste and have characteristics that I'm looking for in these harder to find hoppy or IPAs in general. That fruit character, a wonderful transitioning of, again, citrus and tropical. Now I'm getting a little bit more of this kind of pineapple-y, kumquat tropical note, but it's mostly citrus. Really light kind of mouthfeel. The clean quality of this beer is something I'm also looking for. It leans slightly towards watery, but it's just crisp. Yeah, I mean, it just drinks wonderfully. I get no amount of this kind of sticky sweetness or anything. Nope. Really dry on the back end. It drinks like dry, fruity champagne, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it's wonderful stuff. Highly recommend this one. Funny thing is actually talking to the person who at my local store, and he said that this beer is actually becoming harder to find than lunch. I'm glad people have caught up. This is a better beer than lunch. If I was able to get lunch, I would love to do side by side, even though they're not using the same hops. But I've had lunch a good amount of times, even more than this beer. And this beer, to me, blows lunch out of the water. This beer gets a 95 on Beer Advocate. This is getting a 97 from me. Just, again, one of the best IPAs you can find around. And I don't even think it's that far from dinner. Dinner is much, much harder to get. So until next time, guys, cheers. Later.